Welcome to another video on data to decisions. In today's video, we'll be building a stacked bar chart in Microsoft Excel. We've built the stacked column chart before. This one is a horizontal version of it. And this is recommended wherever you have the category names which are longer. So for example, here, if my department names are very long and I still want to fit it within, it just makes it a little bit easier with the horizontal bar chart instead of the vertical column charts to fit these names. And also sometimes, depending on the dashboard that you're building, if this is one of the visuals in the dashboard, this may fit better from a dimension wise into my dashboard overall. And sometimes it's just that the aesthetics or the appearance of the bar chart would be better than the column chart in my dashboard. But the main guideline for us is, are we able to communicate the information in our chart clearly to our audience? Is it going to help them take the right decision as quickly as possible without having to think too much about how do I understand what data it is and not able to read the names clearly? So we want to avoid all those issues and then make the user understand the data quickly and accurately and take decision. So that's our guideline. So in certain cases, the bar charts are better, and that's where we can use the technique that we are going to do in this video. So now let's get started with building step-by-step bar chart, which is stacked in Microsoft Excel. So this is the data we're going to use. The data represents the number of employees within each department. Then they're broken down by the ethnicity. And so 17 is the number of employees in the human resources department who are Hispanic in ethnicity. So now that we understand what the data is, so let's just go and select the data. Go to Insert, and then I'm going to do 2D bar, stack bar. Okay. And the first thing you notice is that this is not really what we want to build, which is our reference point here. What we see here is the categories here are swapped. So what you can do easily if your data is structured like this. And in your case, if you want to understand the breakdown of, let's say, the each ethnicity, which department are they working? So this is the other way to look at, right? So each ethnicity, um, which departments are they more leaning towards working in? If that's the kind of data view that you want, this works fine, no problem. But if you want to break down within each department by ethnicity, then you have to swap. So switching is very easy. So click on the chart, go to the chart design tab on the top and switch the rows and columns. So once I do that, what happens is Excel now says within each department, I'm going to create each series based on the ethnicity. So Hispanic is a different series, which is in red color. American Indian is a yellow series, and then Asian is green, and so on. So basically, the point is you can easily swap depending on how your data is structured. Sometimes you have a lot more control over the order of the columns and the way it is done. Otherwise, you have to do some extra work to make it into the structure. But either way, you can create the chart and swap it easily like this. Okay. So now this is what we're going to build. Within each department, I want breakdown by ethnicity. So now this is good. Now I'm going to click on the chart and make sure that the chart title is on. If it is not on, there will be no title. So click on the on if it's not, and then enter a title. Okay, so let's say this is a very simple title I want to give. I can format the title like this, and then I can move it to the left. And then what I'm going to do is to move the legend. So click on the chart. You can do this. Legend at the top. Another way to do that would be click on the chart, press Control 1, that opens up the side panel. And from here, you can go to the legend and go to the legend options and move it wherever you want. In my case, I think the top works fine for me, so I'm going to leave it like that. The next thing I'm going to do is to right click on these vertical grid lines and then format. You can also do by going here, choosing horizontal axis major grid lines. And now in the fill, I'll go to solid fill, a little bit light color, so the line is still there. Okay, there we go. So I've done the grid lines. Now I can add the axis titles. So I'll show you, you can click on the axis titles, it adds it. So in this case, I really don't want to add it, mainly because I know that these are department names, and then each series is a different ethnicity. Just based on looking at it, you know that. But if it's a brand new audience, you still want to make sure that everything is very, very clear. You can type in for example, this could be employees, and this is department. So you can enter that if you'd like. And in this case, I just need more space for my chart, so I'm just gonna not add the titles. So it's very easy to uncheck access titles. They go away. Okay. So choose based on the audience, based on the data you're dealing with, and based on how familiar the audience are with your data. You can get some extra space by removing the titles, but not at the risk of losing your audience or misleading your audience or making your audience take more time to understand what is going on with the chart. So with that, now we're done with that part. You can control, for example, if I go and right click on this axis, format axis, now if you want a different order of the categories here, so you can just click on it. It will move the categories to a different order, which matches the order of the table. But then the other axis goes to the top. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it as it is before. And then let's go back here, go to choose one of these series. So how did all these series come up? Because when we created this chart, all these series got created behind the scenes. So I can go to select data. You will see that there are all these different series that Excel created. And if you don't want any of these series, you can hit remove. You can also edit and change where the data comes for that series. So this is how you can, build some advanced charts as well. But for now, what we want to understand is these are the different series. I want to control the gap between the different categories, let's say. How do I do it? So I'm going to go cancel. I'm going to choose the first series, which is Hispanic. Go to the series options. And here you'll see that you can control the gap width between the categories. So I'm just going to go and do 50% instead of 150. And now you see that the horizontal bars have become taller or wider horizontally, and the gap between each department has become less. So you can go to 100%, and there's a little bit more. So I think this looks better to me. And then the series overlap, you want to just leave it as 100%. That's fine because we're stacking them top of each other. Um, and then generally speaking, when you don't want your chart to get, if I'm inserting a column here, now you see that the chart also became larger, like wider. You don't want that, generally speaking. So I'm going to click on the chart. You can go to the size and properties, and you can say don't move or size with cells. And you can do that for all the charts. The same setting is available. So now that we are done with that, I do want to add a border to this. So I'm going to click on the chart, click on border, solid line, do a border, rounded corners, so that gives us that appearance. And you can even increase the border width, and it gives you that appearance. Now, let's say you don't like the default colors that comes in your theme. You can always go back and change the colors here as well. Change to one of these options. You can also choose each color. So let me show you how we can do that. So you can go to the chart options, go to the Hispanic series, and go to fill color. And instead of automatic, go and choose specific color that you want. And then you can go to American Indian series, choose another color. Asian series, I'm going to do some different colors. Again, just some random colors just to show that you can customize it according to your needs. And okay, that's too close. And then the last one, there we go. Okay, so we can change the colors for each of the series or change them all using a theme, however you would prefer. Now that we're done with that, the important other element that is missing here is the data labels. So you can click on the chart, add data labels this way. And then for certain series, when you have chosen a darker color like a purple that I've chosen, the label will become invisible. So we can click on that, change the white font so that they become visible. Same thing with the black series. I'm going to go and choose the white font color so it's visible. So this is how you can do it. You can control the font size also. If you want it to be a little bit smaller, you can control that as well. And so that's all about the data labels. We have covered the gap width. We have covered overall grid lines and legend. And legend, as I said, we moved it to the top, but it's an extremely important part of a stacked bar chart. It's not an option. You want to definitely make sure that the legend is there, very clearly visible, what each color represents. Okay, so that's pretty much it. In the next video, we're going to do a slight twist on this because I want to also show the total number of employees in each department on the right side. Unfortunately, it's not as simple out of the box from Microsoft Excel, so we'll be adding a little bit of work to make that happen. But it's not too complicated. We'll do it in a couple of minutes, but it's not out of the box. So we'll be doing that in a separate video. Please continue to watch for the next video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon in the next one.